Hey, good morning. It is December 30th. One more day, 2 more days of 2019, and then 2020. I'm looking forward to 2020. I feel like some great things are going to happen, especially for God's people. And I wasn't planning on doing this, and why should I? I only have 24 subscribers, and only maybe 4 people watch my videos, but I don't care. Anyway, this is a lot of people complain about YouTube and social media, saying there's a lot of restrictions that there's put on it. That's true. I've never been banned from Facebook, but I personally know people that have been kicked off for like 7 days or whatever. Anyway, or told not to say certain things. But I was watching some videos, kind of auditing my my YouTube, and there's a YouTuber. His name is Thoughty something. Forgive me for not knowing, but anyway, he's British, and he was making a video about snowflakes. And today in this day and age, we're calling like the millennials, the younger generations, snowflakes because they're always offended. Everybody's always offended. Have you noticed that? Well, I'm going to link in the description, which I never do anything. I'm just so. They would say probably that I have ADHD, but I don't believe in mental disorders. It's just spirits. Anyway, anybody that watches my videos knows that I'm a big proponent of that. A lot of our issues in life are spiritual. Maybe most of it, maybe all of it. I don't know the degree because I can't see into the spirit realm and I can't always feel things like that. But I do have the gift of discerning the spirits, which I've told people. And I probably should stop telling people that because I haven't really totally functioned in that gift where I, help people with it. Because the gifts of the spirit are for the edifying of the church. So anyway, there's a video out there, which I'm going to link in the description. Not the guy from Britain, but his video is good too. And I noticed he's got a lot of dislikes. And see, even just pointing out this snowflake or offense thing gets you in trouble. Just for seeing it and pointing it out. Like, you millennials are a bunch of snowflakes because you always have to get offended. But it's beyond millennial generation. It's like everyone's offended. And it's like it's being programmed into them. It's seemingly being programmed into people. Where years ago, you could say anything to anybody and nobody would be like calling the police. I mean, I've actually seen videos where I think it was it Katie Hopkins from Britain. She's very outspoken, conservative, Trump supporter. And she was talking to this woman, and this woman actually called the police on her and said that she committed a hate crime against her. I mean, it's getting ridiculous. Your words, they're beating us down, and their ultimate goal is to get us so we can't talk anymore. We are unable to talk because everything we say will be monitored, and if they don't like what we say, who knows? I mean, if you're told in Israel, you go to Israel, which is run by the Jews. Okay, I just flagged the system by saying the J word. You are told, because I know someone that went there, you are told you cannot talk about Christianity to these people. You will be arrested and put in jail for trying to proselytize your religion of Christianity because they hate Christians over there. Okay, they hate the Arabs. They hate the not all the Arabs over there, not all the Palestinians are Muslim either. There's a lot of Christians over there, and they're all just anyway. That's a totally different subject. But the video that I put in the description is a video by a preacher named Mark Hamby, and he's really of my faith. He's preaching at T.D. Jakes Church of all places, but he is oneness, Jesus name baptism, and filling the Holy Ghost, all that, just like I am. So he's but watch it anyway. But he no longer is in the UPC, United Pentecostal Church, because that's what he used to be, and that's what my church used to be. So we've broken away from that cult. Anyway, so watch the video. It's lengthy, but it's excellent because he calls it the spirit of offense. The spirit. Now he must be getting messages from God, just like me. Anyway, but the spirit of offense. There's a spirit, and he describes it, but he's suggesting that it's not just people getting offended because their brains are programmed to be offended, and oh, you can't say that, you can't say that, and you can't say that. This is a more obviously it's in a church setting, and it's more for Christians. But it would be notable for non-Christians even to watch it, to understand that, you're thinking, why is everyone so offended nowadays? Why is everyone just, on edge, and you got to watch what you say, and they might even call you a hater and call the police on you, and comedians can't do their craft because they can't say anything. You can't make fun of anybody. You can't make fun of, now you can't make fun of people who aren't the same race. You can't make fun of homosexuals. You can't make fun of women. You can't make fun of, the only group that's fair game that you can pick on are white, straight men. That's it. And, why do you want to pick on the group? So you might say, well, it's funny. It's funny. Eddie Murphy did his shtick with white men can't dance. He made fun of white people trying to dance and how black people are better dancers. I'm not offended by that. I don't care. Yeah, I think black people are better dancers. So what? Just pointing out the frailties of certain groups of people it's not bad. It's just pointing them out. But the powers that be, the force that guides this world, it's trying to get us all pigeonholed into this one place, like little robots. And we can't deviate from the narrative. We can't be like over here or over here. We got to be right here. And we all got to be robots. And we all got to say the same thing. We all got to think the same thing. And they say they want us to be the same. They want all the groups to be, I'm white, you're black, you're yellow, they want us all to be the same, but they don't. But they divide us. So it's a control method. That's how control works. You combine good and bad. If you're trying to control someone, 1 minute you'll be complimenting them, the next minute you'll be berating them. That's about control. So this whole notion of dividing you into groups and dividing us, and then saying, "Oh, we all got to be the same," it's confusion. Whenever you feel like something is generating confusion, it's not good. Get away from it. You're not supposed to be confused. Even if you're not a Christian, you don't want to be confused. So, because the Bible says that the God is not the author of confusion, meaning the devil is the confuser. He wants to confuse everything. He wants to keep you in a state of chaos and confusion. My pastor likes to use the word logos, which means order. And in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. That's in John chapter 1. That's logos. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word is logos. And it means order. And God's got an order. And the devil and man are trying to get control out of chaos. Order out of chaos. Have you ever heard that? It's a saying they use. They want to do that. But, they have certain phrases that they live by. Order out of chaos, by any means necessary. The ends justify the means, Machiavelli. The means to get to a certain point. Like, for example, they want control over everything we do. And the means they're doing it by is a lie called climate change. They're trying to get us to tell us where to live, tell us what to eat, tell us what to drive. We can't eat cows because they fart. They want total control over us. And they're doing it through fear. The means are fear and lies. Oh, the AOC says we're gonna all die in 12 years unless we do something now. And then they got this big idea and it costs trillions of dollars, and you're like, they can't afford to do that. And how is this going to help anything? But it's all a myth. It's all a lie. But it is by any means necessary. They are going to get their control by any means necessary, which means, they're going to have snowflakes on college campuses who reject speakers like Ann Coulter and Milo Yiannopoulos and Ben Shapiro. They'll shout them down because they're more conservative or they're Trump supporters, and will not allow them to speak. And then, they're supposed to be bastions of free speech. Well, they're not. They're not bastions of free speech anymore. College campuses are now bastions of politically correct garbage and lies. And this is it. They're really doing the job of brainwashing these people into thinking they're all victims. You're all a victim. You should all be offended all the time. If you're not offended, there's something wrong, because we haven't gotten to the point where everybody's the same, where everybody's mouth is muzzled so they can't talk. What's next? If they are able to get it where you're afraid to talk because you might offend somebody nearby, when they get it to that point, what's the next frontier of their control? Well, it's your thoughts. You've seen those futuristic movies where they attach these things to your brain, your head, and they're supposed to, modify your brain. But that's probably true. There's a lot of truth in fiction. What we see will come true in real life. That's the next area of control, because they're fighting with us now about our speech, and people are fighting back. Comedians are saying, well, we can't even be comedians anymore because we can't talk. We can't say anything remotely funny because most humor is observational. Most humor is like, this is what I see. And if it's anything to do with a group of people, you better just leave it alone. And it's just amazing. But watch the Mark Hamby video I put in the description. I linked it in the description because it is awesome. It's over an hour long, but it's worth the watch. It really is. And if any of you know who T.D. Jakes is, now T.D. Jakes, some people consider a sellout. He has become a mega church pastor, but he started out in his garage or something like that, and he had a handful of people, and he's grown to, thousands and thousands of people. But he's let his message, his biblical message, kind of go by the wayside a little bit, I could think, from what I hear. But you can't be on TV, and you can't be a mega pastor, a prosperity preacher, whatever you are, and be real and genuine. You're going to be, out there smoking crack, molesting little boys. A lot of these people, or you're exorbitantly, rich, and you're buying airplanes and mansions, and Joel Osteen has this huge mansion, and Joyce Meyer, whatever. They all have these, palatial places they live, and they're feeding off their sheep's money. Give me your money. Give me your money. Give me your money, and God will give you a lot of money. Give me $100. God will give you 1,000. It's just, that's how it is, and people are duped into it. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to give 10% to. You're supposed to tithe 10%, and to your church, whatever. But you're not. Anyway, that's a rabbit trail. But I'm getting down this trail again where don't be offended. If you're offended, you have a problem. If you're offended, offense is like something that it's like a weight that you got to carry around. And if somebody offended you and you're going with it, you're not rejecting it and saying, no, I'm not going to be offended. If you're letting that offense into your life, you're going to be in trouble. But you watch the video of Mark Hamby, then you'll understand more. He says offense is like a cancer, and some people are addicted to offense. They love to be offended. The more they're offended, the better it is, because then they have something to gripe about. It's like that makes them feel alive. They're offended. But what the spirit of offense is it's always been there. It's been, because it's been there forever. Psalm 119, 165 says, great peace have they that love thy law, and nothing shall offend them. God wants to get us to a place where nothing offends us. And that's really where we should try to be headed. But of course, people in the world who aren't Christians, and even a lot of Christians, don't understand this concept. So they're going to get these spirits, and they're always going to be offended. And then if they ever get to a ripe old age, I don't know if they're just going to be sitting in the corner twiddling their thumbs because they can't hear anything. And I don't know, or people aren't just going to be allowed to talk. You're going to go to jail if you say certain things. Anyway, another area that I actually saw this. I saw this spirit. Okay, I saw it yesterday. And I believe the Lord told me that it was this spirit of offense that Mark Hamby is talking about, where I've got two girls, because I work with youth, and some of the youth are a little autistic, and so they're older. Actually, they're adults, but I consider them youth because they're autistic. But a couple of the girls I work with who are not autistic, they bicker and fight with each other constantly. And it's kind of a new thing that I've seen with them. I haven't seen them do this all the time. I've known them for at least a year, probably more like 2 years. I'm not sure how long I've known them, but I've known them for a while. And I never used to see them do this. But now they're constantly fighting. And one thing they do when they're fighting is they're like, you did this. No, you did this. You didn't do this. You did this. And you did. And they're always just, if they did something wrong, they're going to blame the other person. And you'd think, well, this is just people arguing and fighting. Well, no, I see a spirit of offense between them because each one of them, by the other one's words or actions, are getting offended. And then they're pointing the finger back, and they're both offended at the other one's words and behavior. So they're constantly fighting about it. And I told them they got to quit. They got to quit this. And it's a spirit. And there was a time when I was arguing with my pastor and another bystander who was sitting there. He said he saw some sort of dark entity between me and the pastor. And we were arguing. And at one point I remember thinking, why are we arguing? I don't know. But spirits can cause you to do things that you don't even realize they're causing you to do or say. So the spirit of offense is very real, and it's getting kind of ratcheted up in these last days. All these demonic spirits are really kind of taking a hold and becoming apparent. Even, the Jezebel spirit that I love to talk about. I hear more and more people talking about the Jezebel spirit because it's unmistakable. Maybe 20, 30 years ago, nobody talked about it because you didn't see it as prevalently as you do now. And you see it everywhere. You see it in the church. You see it in government. What they're doing to Trump is totally the Jezebel spirit. They're not giving up. They're going to get him. They're going to kill him spiritually. That's what they're trying to do. And, it's like you're scratching your head going, what did he do? He didn't do anything. And they're just after him relentlessly. That is that Jezebel spirit. That's exactly what that is. And I've experienced it myself in a smaller scale at my church where people, they don't want me there. And they just don't want me there. They're not going to the lengths that Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff are going to get rid of Trump. But people have tried to go to these various lengths to get me out of the church. It's the same spirit. So these spiritual entities, these demonic, unclean spirits, whatever you want to call them, ghosts, I don't care what you call them, they're part of the third of the angels that fell down with Satan, and they are really working overtime. And the spirit of offense is so successful in this world and even in the church. And people need to know this is ridiculous. Why should you be offended? But they're working it that way, not so that people can see, this is what they say. The reason for it, they say, is so that people who are, let's say, a man who wants to dress like a woman, won't be ostracized. They will feel respected. It's like they're demanding respect. If you don't respect that person, there's something wrong with you. If you're walking down the street and you see a dude and he's obviously a dude, but he's got a dress on and makeup and a wig, and you're like, look at that. You're not allowed to do that. That's wrong. You can't do that. They don't care about that. They don't care about the feelings of the LGBTQP whatever. They're using those people to silence people like me or people like Eddie Murphy or comedians. They're using these people to silence the rest of us because they say, "Oh, I just know, I'm really a man in a woman's body, and I just, oh my God, and I feel like such an outcast. I feel like killing myself." Well, it's okay. You really should be what you feel. You really should be a man instead of a woman. If that's really how you feel you need to be, and people need to respect you for that. Really? This is that confusion I was talking about. People are confused about what sex they are, what gender they are. This is the confusion. So there's spirits here working. They're all working in tandem, and they're creating this really weird, awful picture out there. You got the Jezebel control spirit, you got the spirit of offense, and then you got this confusion, the spirit of confusion. Add all these together, it's a ticking time bomb. It is a ticking time bomb. All these people going crazy because they're confused, because they're, and nobody's like normal anymore. Everybody's offended. And it seems like everybody's gay and everybody, it's getting crazy. Is there anything wrong with being gay? In my mind, no, I don't care if you're gay. I don't care. Just keep it in your bedroom. Don't go out and talk about it. Leave it in your bedroom. Straight people don't go around talking about how they had sex all the time. They don't identify themselves by their sexual orientation. Homosexuals and confused people are the only people that do that. Who cares who you have sex with? I'm sick of this. I feel like Alex Jones. I'm sick of it. I don't like Alex Jones, by the way. I think he's crazy. But anyway, these spirits are real, and they're working in our lives, and they're all around us. And don't get hooked in by them. Don't get offended. Don't be confused. And don't be a controller. I'll take you down. But watch the video of Mark Candy. She wants to go outside. She wants to go outside. Watch the video. I'm serious. It'll change your life. I've already recommended it to a couple people I know, and one guy told me, he said, "Oh, I've watched it 3 times." I said, "Great," because it's important. It's important to know what we're dealing with here. We're not dealing with mental illness people. We're dealing with spiritual entities. Even if you don't believe the Bible, and you will someday, because every knee is going to bow and every tongue's going to confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. So seek the Lord. Seek the Lord. If you're not a Christian, please seek the Lord out, because this is the end. The end is near. It's got to be. This world is so whacked out. It's just got to be near. And Jesus is he's Lord, and we have to honor and love him, and he's the creator. And I love him so much, all the wonderful things he's done for me. Oh my gosh. I can sit here and scream and yell, but when at the end of the day, I'm thinking, I am so blessed. I am so blessed. You can look at my life and think, how do you say you're blessed? Well, I am. I just am. I have so much gratitude to the Lord Jesus Christ for what he's done for me. And I'm not a hater. I don't hate anybody. I don't hate any group. I don't hate blacks. I don't hate gays. I don't hate anybody. I've had gay friends, okay, in the past. People I really admired and loved. They died of AIDS, a lot of them. They were men. But listen, people are people. You love people. But you don't love confusion. And you don't love victimhood. And you don't love control. Nobody wants to be controlled. Nobody wants to be a victim. But they're making it so that we're going to beg for it. I'm a victim. Lord, government, help me. I'm a victim. I'm a victim. Nobody respects me. Everybody hates me. Okay, you go to your government God. I'm not going to do it. I encourage you not to go to government God. Go to Jesus Christ. He's much better than government God. As a matter of fact, government God will kill you. They don't care about you. But Jesus Christ loves you. Get with him and watch Mark Hamby, Brother Mark Hamby, Spirit of Offense. I'm going to link it in the description. All right, this is it. Y'all have a wonderful day. If you don't see me again, Happy New Year, okay? 2020 is going to be an awesome year. Have a happy, healthy New Year, and seek the Lord, my friends. I love y'all. God bless. God bless, God bless, God bless.